Hey, what's up, Turtle Riders? How's everyone doing tonight? Can everybody hear me okay out there? Excellent. All right, cool. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Turtle Boy live show. We do this every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night at 9 p.m. Check it out. If you haven't subscribed already, you're going to want to go ahead right now and smash that subscribe button. I promise you, you won't regret it. It's the hottest show on YouTube. It's more entertaining than anything. It's the realest news. Trust me. It comes with a freestyle every Saturday night, too. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Just smash that subscribe button. You'll thank me later. Also, give us a big thumbs up and hit that notification bell if you haven't already, because YouTube likes to shiest you out and not remind you that, that we are live. But, yeah, we're pretty much live here anywhere between 9 o'clock and 9:15. I say 9 o'clock, but very rarely do I start on time. I'm always busy with some shit going on. But anyway, let's see. Oh, I also shared the link to the stream on the various social media pages. So go ahead right now and give all those pages a like if you haven't already. On Facebook, you can find me at Clarence Woods Emerson. You can also find me at, let's see, Turtleboy Sports and Uncle Turtleboy. So between the three of them right now, it's way over 60,000 followers on social Facebook. So I feel like that should count. If we can add those three up to 100,000, that should count, but we'll see. And they haven't taken down the Turtleboy Sports or the Uncle Turtleboy page in like way over a year. So they're not taking down the pages, people. It's okay to go and like them again. We're back. We're back. We're in business. Clarence Woods Emerson is going to get suspended for 30 days at a time. I might have made a mistake here. I'm like, so I'm going to tell you this because I like you people, okay? I got the good shit. All right? I got the good shit. In case you guys haven't seen the trend we're going here right now, vaccine passports are a-coming, okay? Now, a lot of people will say, well, we shouldn't be, and by the way, I also shared it on my Twitter accounts at Dr. Turtleboy and at Turtleboy Phone. Follow me on both of those. They're getting up there close to 10,000 on the at Dr. Turtleboy. But a lot of people would say, well, Turtleboy, you know, why are we, I'm just not going to participate. I'm not going to comply. Okay. Well, then you don't get to do shit. I feel you on that one. And I appreciate the principled stand you're taking, but that's not the way I operate. I'm not the guy who doesn't get what he wants. Like, let's put it that way. I'm the guy, like, I am not a principled guy, really. I'm more like a thief, if you will. I'm a guy that, like, I'm like Robin Hood, kind of. Like, I feel justified. Like, I know you're not supposed to do it, but I feel justified in doing it. I feel like I'm doing the morally right thing. So what I'm doing with this vaccine thing, it's like I got the PDF. Somebody from a hospital actually sent me a PDF of the vaccine card. They're wicked easy. It's so I had no idea it was this easy. It doesn't require anyone's signature. You just write the brand. There's only 3 brands of the vaccine. And then you say where you got it. You can literally get vaccinated anywhere. They don't think they know. I think the doorman at the DCU center, because they'll eventually have it. Every place is going to have it eventually. So you're going to have the stupid piece of paper. And to me, I feel like I'm accomplishing something more with the fake one than I am with a, just taking a principled stand and not doing it, because they don't give a shit about that if you don't do it. Oh, well, a lot of people are going to cave and get it. Not me. I'm never getting it. I'm never getting vaccinated, ever. There was a time, remember I told you people, that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. What do I care? I'm like, I'm not going to go out of my way to get vaccinated. That was my original stance. But like, if I was walking by a vaccination stand and they're like, hey, want to get some of this? Like, yeah, fuck it. What do I care? Because I'm not afraid of the vaccine. I'm not anti-vax in that. Like, a lot of people are like, afraid they're going to get autism or some shit. I'm not like that. My thing is, I don't want it because it's purely out of spite at this point. Like, fuck you. That's why I don't want it. Like, I just don't feel like helping out Joe Biden at all. That's my thing. I want him to be miserable. I want him to go on TV and whine about people not getting vaccinated. But yep, that's me. I'm not vaccinated. Fuck off. Like, I want to be that guy. And more importantly, like, what the fuck do I need the vaccine for? I'm a healthy 39-year-old guy. I exercise daily. I eat somewhat well. Okay. I don't need to be worried about goddamn coronavirus. I couldn't die from coronavirus if I tried. So there's literally no point doing it except like getting in line and going along with the state. And I'm not doing it. Fuck it. I'm not doing it. No, Trump the other day took some shit because he's like, yeah, you should get it. But if you don't want it, don't get it. He's like, I got it. I'd recommend it. And I would say this to all my fatties out there. You should get it. Okay. Like if you're fat and you're not vaccinated, that's dumb. Okay. Fat people should exercise more than anything. Get off. If the existence of the virus that picks on fat people isn't enough to motivate you to get your ass off the couch, I don't know what is. But my fatties out there should definitely get it. I would recommend it. But if you're not fat and you're not like, 70 or something, fuck it. Like, what do you care? Your kids, if they force it on your kids, okay, that's when we're all getting fake vaccine cards, okay? We're not doing that shit. My kids are not getting the jab ever. It's stupid. They don't need it. Obviously, they're not dying from it. Kids shouldn't fear it. And that is clearly where we're going, because this whole mask mandate thing that passed today with the board of BESE or whatever, I think it was like a 12-to-1 vote or something like that. They voted to, force the masks on our kids. Now, prior to this, like I've been fighting out there. A lot of people have been fighting at their local school board meetings, giving speeches and shit because it was a local issue. Because Governor Baker, to his credit at the time, was not mandating it for every district in the state. He's like, make it a local issue. Worcester's problems are not the same as Dudley's or Southwick's or Agawam's or whatever. Every town is different. Well, that's over. He decided on Friday that they're going to recommend the board of the BESE vote. And it was like 10-to-1 they voted. So now you have to do it. Okay. So we're at a crossroads here at this point where people are like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's like, what should we do? Should we write letters? I'm like, don't waste your time on it. Like none of that's going to change. Like writing letters, emails, you're literally just wasting time. If your time is valuable, they ain't going to do shit. You can protest all you want. I'm all for protesting. Ain't going to do shit. Ain't going to do shit. There's only one solution. Thank you, Amber. Appreciate that. And there, by the way, there's a $sign thing on the bottom. That's called Super Chat, what Amber just did. If you like the program, you want to continue, there is that's basically how I make a living, if you will. Leading to resistance. Yeah, fuck it. But like this shiesty resistance, not like the go out and get killed resistance, like the I'm a sneaking around back resistance. That's my kind of resistance right there. We cheat. That's what we do. So I got the PDF. Email me, turtleboysports@gmail.com. Boom, I'll send them out to you. I don't know if it's illegal or not. It's a piece of fucking paper. You need a double-sided printer for it. I would make sure you got the right dimensions of the card. I think it's 3x4. I don't even know if it's the right paper, whatever. Like the doorman at the fucking DCU said, it knows the difference. Like, give me a break. Yeah, just like the Dems. Like a lot of people will say, oh, well, the Democrats are committing voter fraud. Yep, for sure. Why do you think they don't want voter ID? You know what the solution to that is? Not whining, not trying to change it because you can't in this state. You know what you can do? You vote 3 times. That's when I realized I'm like, oh, I can just do this too. If you're going to commit voter fraud, I'm going to commit voter fraud, period. Kiss my ass. You have to beat them at their own game. That's the way I do it. Okay. That's just the way I've always done business. And I can sleep well at night because I don't think there's anything morally wrong with it if the other team is also doing it as well. What they're trying to do by forced vax mandates is immoral. You have a moral obligation to break immoral laws. That is your job. So that's that. All right. Anyway, just laminate it like the CD. Yeah. Oh yeah. Or you can laminate. Yeah, there you go. Once you get, it's your vaccine card. I got them. Let me know. All right. So like I said, they took away the local option. Now, there was a school committee meeting about that it caught my attention in a place called Amesbury, Mass. Amesbury is, you go through it to go to Hampton Beach if you've ever had the unfortunate luck to go to Hampton Beach. But Amesbury is probably like, it's a liberal town. It's a city technically, I guess. They have a mayor. It's like a 65% Biden town. It's definitely pretty solidly blue. It's on the New Hampshire border. And they had a school committee meeting, and their school committee voted 6-1 to mandate masks. Ironically, at their meeting, 6 of the 7 members were not wearing masks, and they mandated the kids had to wear masks because they're monsters. They're absolute monsters. They would force children to do something that they're not even doing in real life. And one parent named Jessica Pereira caught, and I'm going to have her on shortly. She caught the attention of these people. Oh, and thank you very much. Caitlin Poole sent it on the Cash App. You guys can also do the Cash App. She sends me $20 for I'll take one. They are not for sale. They are free. If I feel like I'm going the next step. If I start selling them, not selling them, they're free. Okay. Just an email. What you do with it is your call. Thank you, Lucky Ghost. I appreciate that. Congratulations on your court win. Yeah, we're going to talk more about, I'm going to be playing tomorrow night on Turtle Club, the unedited court transcripts of the Mike Giannetti case yesterday. So you got to be in Turtle Club if you want to hear that. So there's your incentive to join right there. All right. Anyway, this woman gets up and gives a speech. Now, I saw this because it has upset a lot of people in the school committee world, and it also made like Yahoo News. I saw this. This is the trend. This is the headline NBC and all these media outlets are trying to push, is like, out of control Trump QAnon parents are taking over school committee meetings, you know, complaining, threatening members and blah, blah, blah. That's the way Biden and them want to make it seem. It's not happening. That's not the way it is. And so this one parent, they're acting like this woman is legitimately scaring them. We're going to read some emails that all started because of this one speech you were about to watch from a mother in Amesbury. Let's watch it. All right. Audio here. Cam, mic. Audio. Oh, there we go.
Parents who disagree. There are a lot, and we're gaining a lot of momentum in terms of unmasking our children, and we're at a point where we're not willing to comply anymore. We have reached a point in this whole process where it's become personal. It's always been personal. It's now in the homes. It is a daily conversation with our children, and we are all fed up as parents. We will no longer have our children be treated this way. You are all paid by our tax dollars, and we expect better. And I know that we can't stop this machine. What's going on in our country is a sickness, and it's growing with momentum that we cannot put a stop to, but we can make it difficult for you on a daily basis, and we intend to do so. I do not work. I speak for myself. I am not able to. I have little children. I will devote every second of my day to making this difficult and making your lives complicated. It will become expensive because every day we will cause conflict in the schools.
What? So she says, I'm going to make your lives difficult. Every day we're going to cause conflict in the schools. Go on. I like the 𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗃.
We will not mask. You will have to then come out and ask us, put a mask on. We'll say no. We're at a point where we're not going to comply. The problem with this is that we know that you will then put the stress on our children's shoulders, which you already have, by separating them, by pressuring them with the vaccine. And we're not okay with that. So we will continue to fight.
And she makes a point there. That's what all this bullshit is about, the vaccine. Like, they're like the stupid carrot with the stick. Like, if 80% of your school gets vaccinated, then you can be free. Well, fuck your carrot and the stick, okay? First of all, who the hell said 80% was safe? Where the hell you pulled that number out of your ass? We're already safe. Kids have never been a threat. Like, this virus has never been a threat to them. But on top of that, we live in one of the states with, like, right now, the lowest transmission rate and the lowest hospitalization rates. Like, we done killed our people back in April. We're one of the highest states. I think we're 3rd in the country per capita for dead people after New York and New Jersey. But, like, we already killed all the vulnerable people. They're all dead. They're out in the Holyoke Old Homes. Charlie Baker already murdered them all. So he's got no one left to kill at this point. So no one's dying. That's why we're good. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead that couldn't survive this thing, and it's time to move on. But like, we're not doing that for some reason. So it goes on.
Mass against masks is growing in large numbers. We have bi-weekly meetings I gained 30 new followers in 2 days last week. So this can't happen anymore. You're expected to do better. You represent our children. When you took a political office, you took it for the greater good. I certainly hope not for the salary, because it's not much to speak of. So I would hope that you would do better. You have a re-election coming up. So I would consider the fact of what your opponent, his stance on it. He has children in private school. That's for a reason. They're not in the Amesbury public schools. The critical race theory and the gender disorientation, as I like to call it, that's for another day, because that will take up an entire 3 weeks. So I'll save all that for next month. But if you guys move forward with the masks, which I'm sure you will, we just be prepared.
And they do.
That on a daily basis, we will not comply. We will not stop. I know all of you on social media. I have snapshots of very unpleasant conversations or remarks you've made.
I have screenshots of unpleasant comments you've made. That is great right there. That is like Turtleboy-esque right there. Like, I got shit on you, motherfucker. I got screenshots. I got you cheating on your wife. I got everything. I don't even know what that means, but I'd love to find out. I love it. I love the fight. I love it. She goes on.
And I will make it my job to find out every nitty-gritty piece of stuff that you have done that we can exploit.
Is this like my long-lost sister or something? This is wild. This girl's great. Go on.
So as much as I don't want to be that person, and my 3 minutes is up, I will be that person, because
I know.
this is my child, and I will do what it takes. And I'm smart enough not to break the law in the process. Thank you.
I'm saying. I don't know where that came from, but it was great. It was great. Thank you there, Cartwright. I appreciate it. Vaccine card donation. Okay, thank you. Again, I can't take payments for those, but they're free. They're free. That ringing is apparently their thing to let you know that your 3 minutes is up. So her name is 𝗪𝗂𝗃𝗲, I believe. And because I just read about I'll explain how she came across my radar momentarily. Hold on. Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, she's going to be coming on. Her name is 𝗪𝗂𝗃𝗲, and let me see if I can get her on. Let me message her right now. Whenever you're ready. Okay. Because this is how, let me go back to this. She came across my radar because, there we go. All right. So she came across my radar because, oh, there she is right now. I'm going to add her to the stream. Hello, Jessica.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually nervous, so.
Oh, don't be. Don't be. You kicked ass in that speech.
Oh, thanks. I was just watching. I was like, oh my God.
No, you did great. You did great. So, you made like Yahoo News. I was searching your name, and you made like national publications with that speech.
So I didn't know that. And,
oh, yeah.
But locally, the comments, like I put one up on like Wednesday, like, because people were like, oh, she dropped a grenade and left. Well, I had a screaming toddler, so I could have stayed, but that would have, been a problem. So yeah, I left, and I watched live from home, but people are like, she just disappeared. So I came back on Wednesday and put a post up, and I was like, I stand behind what I said. No one was ever threatened or put in harm's way. Like, I mean everything I said. They weren't threats, they were promises. And we're sick of this.
Can I ask you can you give me some insight about what you got on these people? I mean, you mentioned like screenshots of things they've said. Is there anything juicy there?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, like, I remember 6 months ago being like, who is this guy? He's such a dick. He's always saying these things. And I looked him up and I was like, oh my God, he's in the school committee. His name's Mel Webster.
I thought you meant me. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, Mel Webster.
No. Yeah, so I remember, I was like, oh, I know this guy. So like, and I was a bartender locally. So like, I know a lot of stuff about a lot of people around here. And like you said, like, if they're going to play dirty, I'll play dirty. We're at a point in society where they're threatening to put a vaccine in my kids. I don't trust. So, I'll do what it takes. Like, I've had to pull my son out of school, so I'm just so tired of it.
How old's your son?
He's 6.
So he's going into first grade.
He's going into first grade.
Same with me. So what are you going to do? Are you're not sending your kids to school?
No. And part of that had to do with the mask, the vaccine, and all that. But then someone gave me some information last week on Safe Schools Initiative. And I know the schools are super screwed up with all the critical race theory and all that crap. But once I read the stuff about how they're, well, the Safe Schools Initiative is a tax-funded organization that connects the Board of Education in Massachusetts with the LGBTQ and making it safer and more inclusive. And the stuff I read through about how they rewrite the curriculum to make it safer for our transitioning children as young as kindergarten, I was like, I'm done. I'll never send my kids to school again in these schools. We're Christian. Yeah. We don't stand by this, and I'm not playing this game. So yeah, okay. I told them we've got a Christian classical education, and we're going to do that.
So question, if you're not sending your kids, how are you going to resist? Like you mentioned some things on there that they obviously took as threats, that you were like, I'm going to show up and not wear masks. But if your kids aren't going to school, then how are you going to do that?
Well, I pulled them the next day. I pulled them
after that meeting?
Next day, but I'm not going to stop fighting this. Yep. So partly because we got a lot of really nasty things said about our family and our kids, calling them plague rats. I'm like, I'm not sending my son into this kind of environment. But I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm on Amesbury Mass Against Mandates. And it's actually a statewide organization. Each town has a chapter. We're trying to make it that way.
I'm in mine up here.
Friday.
Yeah, I'm in Holden. We have our own little chapter. I'm trying to get in your Facebook group.
Okay.
Is that the one with like 4,500 members? There's some Massachusetts Against Mask Mandates group that I've been trying to get in. I've sent a million requests.
Group. Oh, okay. So I'm the Amesbury chapter. So we only have about 72 so far. Okay. But the Mass Against Mandates, I'll reach out to the
tell them to let me in.
We have a rally on Friday.
Where?
So no, it's good. We're having a rally Friday in Amesbury, and it's turning quite a bit ahead. So we'll see how that goes.
What's the goal of the rally?
I'll have to get my shirt. To keep awareness out there, to build community here for the people that disagree with this, build the homeschooling community for people who are pulling their children, and to give support to people who don't feel confident in not complying. Like,
Let me show you.
To not comply. That's the only way.
Well, I agree. So, but the problem is that your kid and my kid is also 6, by the way. My kid's too young to not comply. She's too young. Like I told her today, I'm like, hey, you want to wear your mask to school? You want it? She's like, the thought of her breaking the rules, like she's petrified of that. She would never, ever do that because she's like, raised right. Like I tell her, you have to listen to your teachers and stuff. So that's kind of backfired on me at this point because now, she's been, she's like, I can't. She's petrified to get in trouble. She would never do it. So but I feel like the older kids, like when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, like where are you middle schoolers at? Middle schoolers are little shitheads. They were born to question authority and like break rules. If we can't count on 7th and 8th graders to break these rules, then I've lost hope in the next generation.
Well, and honestly, I know, and a lot of parents can't homeschool. They're not in the position to, but if we form co-ops or parents, help each other or pay, do co-ops, where they pay a teacher to do a group, I don't know. I mean, that's not feasible for a lot of people though. But that's one way to do it. It is. That would pull tax dollars.
Yeah, but I was reading up on that, and eventually, that will come back to fuck your town over. Like you'll lose other town services for that. I don't know. Some selectman in my town was explaining that to me. Like ultimately, that would backfire, that plan, because I've heard that plan.
Right. No, that makes sense. And this is not my area. Like I'm a mom trying to defend her kids. So I'm like learning as I go. This whole thing took a life of its own over the last few days. So like one guy's like, 3:30 on Friday is not a good time for a rally. I was like, look, not a politician. Any advice is welcome. Thank you, Permit Paul. Like you can help me out anytime.
Right.
So, just trying to fight it.
Have you heard about these emails that Mel Webster started?
No.
Okay, so you're going to see. Oh, yeah, I'm unmasking these for the first time. So there's an organization called the Massachusetts Association for School Committees, and it's supposed to be like a nonpartisan organization of school committee members across the state, right?
Yeah.
But it's extremely partisan, obviously. It's turned extremely, it's a left-wing organization. It's run by this douchebag named Glenn Kuchar from Cambridge and this other horrid woman from Worcester named Tracy Novick, one of my arch rivals. And there's an email chain, and they didn't realize that these emails are all public information, and they apparently were not, because they have been saying some awful things about parents, and it all started with you. And that's how I found out about you, is I read this email chain, the whole thing. I screenshotted everything, and we're going to go through some of them now. You ready?
I am so ready.
Okay, let's look. Okay, so it started with this. So this is Mel Webster right here.
There he is.
Okay, yep. And he wrote an email on August 16th that said, Amesbury voted 6-1 to continue to enforce its existing masking policy that requires blah, blah, blah. We also plan on reviewing and taking a vote on the updated policy next week. One parent threatened the entire committee and said she was going to make it her full-time job to make our lives difficult every day, among other things. She also said she will be back to comment on critical race theory and teaching gender disorientation. What has happened to us as a human race? Bitch, you're trying to abuse kids. I'm so sick of this. Like, oh, the humanity. Bitch, you're trying to force a mask on my kid. Fuck you. Fuck your humanity.
I know.
Dick. Jesus Christ, these people. I'm so sick of them, like, in their self-righteousness. Like, oh my God, how dare these parents question us and come to us with their concerns. Oh my God.
And this is the guy that put a mask on right before the TV cut on. And he said, somebody said to him, well, you know, you didn't have a mask on when you walked in. He's like, there was only 4 people. I'm like, no, there was 4 people, just me and my kids. Like, there was like 12 other people when you got there. And as soon as the TV was about to go on, his mask went on. I was like, stop it. Please
exactly.
Stop it.
No, and somebody asks about the medical exemption. Oh, that gets brought up in these emails. We're going to see these people are fucking psychopaths that we're dealing with here. So another woman from Amesbury, a former member named 𝗵𝗵cie says, I'm curious if schools have written policies and developed response plans for how to handle disruptive parents. So they are now plotting because of you. They're like, what are we going to do? I got the impression from watching the school committee meeting that some parents will willfully ignore the rules and possibly put teachers and children in harmful situations. Some actually believe because they are taxpayers, they can do whatever they want because it's, quote, their American right. These people, they're like, oh my God, these peasants think they have rights, but I'm on the school committee. Like,
God.
Okay, so it gets better. So then we got this douchebag named Charles Miles. So he's on. I wrote about this asshole last week because he wrote this horrible email to this woman in South Hadley, like demeaning her because she didn't want her kid to wear a mask. And he's like, I can't believe I have to waste time talking to somebody. He goes, so he comments to Mel and he says, it's bad out there. In the last week, I've had not just me, but my children attacked by a right-wing blogger, Turtleboy Sports, because the answers about masks I gave in an email to a person who doesn't even have kids in our district were somewhat less than tactful. That was followed by anonymous emails that included some graphic threats. Bullshit. The blogger suggested, because I voted for masks, that I'm abusing other people's children. No, Glenn, I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying that. Yeah, you're a child abuser, and they hate when you play their game, and that's what I would recommend all these people, and that's why I liked your fighting spirit, was that these people love to just be like, oh my God, you want to kill kids. Oh
my God, they play the victim card so much.
It's
painful. And like the comments are so bad on Facebook that some people are getting shut down. And I'm like, I don't say much back to it, just kind of like a winky face, like real sarcastic stuff. Because like, number one, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not trying to change my point of view, and I'm not trying to change yours. If you're not on the school committee and you're not the governor or you're not voting, it's not worth my time. So
right.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck off, really.
Right. So these people, they think like they love to be the ones who use theatrics and hyperbole. And so I believe in fighting fire with fire. And that's why I like what you did. It's like, we can do that too. You're abusing kids. No, you're a child abuser. And they don't know what to do. This guy's like, oh my God, and he goes, I would anticipate I won't be the only person on this list this happens to. These poor members They have to deal with email. Oh, they have it so hard. It appears that the QAnon crowd are planning on explicitly targeting. Yes, everybody I disagree with is QAnon. That's basically. I don't even know what the fuck QAnon is. I'm told I am QAnon. I don't even know what the fuck it is, and it's just the greatest boogeyman of all time.
It's disagreeing with the left-wing psychos, literally.
Apparently.
Yeah.
The next woman is from Cape Cod. She's from Harwich in the Monomoy Regional School District. Just look at this is the woman we're dealing with right here. Okay.
Yeah, no, like enough said.
Like exactly. Like you're 100 years old. You obviously, your kids are, grandparents. Obviously, you don't have any kids in school. Here you are. This is her a week ago at a restaurant, a fancy restaurant with all these people in the background with no masks on. Oh, there's grandma doing her thing. I mean, look, how old is this woman? Jesus Christ. Dude, I think she was one of the first people at Ellis Island with that hat on. Holy shit. This is literally a picture from her Facebook page. Okay. She had her grandkids over and she made them wear masks at his own birthday party. This is the kind of psychopath we are dealing. Look at there's Christmas at our house. This is her grandson. What?
They have an agenda. I truly believe that. And that's why, like you said, they don't want to hear the studies. They don't want to hear the science. It's a waste of time. The emails are a waste of time.
Oh, they really are. They really are.
Yeah. I only do the protest to build confidence in the people that don't feel strong enough to show them that we are here. We might be your neighbor. Like I'm having people over to my house Thursday night, like to show support in the community. Like you don't have to do it because they say so. This is America. Like we're not in the Soviet Union. Like I don't know when people got confused.
Right. So where do you hear this woman's email? So she says, I called the Board of Health Directors for both two towns today. Blah, blah, blah. We have had a listening meeting last night. People came from various towns saying parents should have control of their children's bodies. I could not help but think that these same people are likely to be against a woman having the right to make decisions on her body. Okay. So first of all, with that analogy, it's completely ridiculous. I'm not even going to go there, but I will say this about that. It's like, okay, so how about we just meet in the middle? Yeah. Abortion is legal in this state. Okay. You win. So then my body, my choice with that, my body, my choice with this, that should be the way it is. Okay. So there we go. We're even. But they don't want that. They're like, no. Only my body, my choice when it comes to abortion.
Yeah,
not when
it's apples and oranges anyways. Someone tried to bring it up last time. Like it's not even a thing. I'm not pro-choice. Like I don't believe in that. That's just me personally. I don't. If anyone else is whatever, that's fine. But it's a totally different animal. So,
right. It's just it's such. These people are so bad at analogies. Like the seatbelt analogy. Just like I can't even.
They don't stop with it.
I can't deal with their analogies anymore.
No.
So she goes on to say. A school nurse, a teacher, and some parents support a responsibility of wearing masks. The no mask people did not mention caring about anyone else's health or safety, but just that parents should be the ultimate decision makers. Bitch, we are worried about our kids' mental health. We're worried about
we
our
are
kids
the ultimate decision makers. Like
yes, we are. Yes, exactly.
Not you. So not like.
Yeah, exactly. She goes, it is so disturbing that our governor is not making the decision for safety for all. Like, bitch, you live on Cape Cod. I live 2 hours from you. Why the fuck do you get to make decisions about our school district? Like, what are you talking about? Like, stop it.
No,
yeah, it's so
now they're bringing the vaccine in. Like, they're going to make it mandatory for all these kids.
It gets worse. She goes on to say, let's see. And I love this one. In Monomoy, every child and adult wore a mask whenever in school since COVID. We have been in school the same amount of days in any other public school. All adjusted. There was never an issue. So basically, she's saying here that masks, and this is the argument they're going to use, that, well, we wore masks in, the end of last year and COVID didn't spread. So obviously masks are the reason why.
Right. Right.
But there's been studies. One came out the other day showing schools in Georgia, some that were masked, some that were not. There's no difference. None. The masks aren't the reason it's not spreading. It's because
especially not the cloth masks they wear that aren't even like surgical masks. And the ones that they wear in surgery aren't to prevent things from getting in. It's to prevent spit from coming out, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, think, have you ever seen a painter with the mask that a painter wears?
Yeah.
It's like, it's heavy duty shit.
Right.
They're painting. Okay.
Yep.
Meanwhile, deadliest disease ever. And John, just throw one of these things on your face. You'll be good. Like, what fucking, are you people insane? You actually think this is working? Are you that fucking stupid? Anyway, it's just, it's a security blanket. That's all it is for them.
Well, yeah. And it's become a fad.
Kind of.
Like, it's like if it's like you're in the cool group, like it's literally down to that. Like it's segregation in a sense.
It's getting that way. And the reason they don't want it to be optional is because they know that if the second your kid gets off that bus, he's taking the goddamn mask off because the kid doesn't want to wear it, period. Right. No kid wants to wear it.
Yep.
So she also says, I do not agree with people. Do agree people should wear masks if they want to only. Your mask is to protect others, not just yourself. I love this. So many have health issues and many are seriously ill who have no illness. What are you talking about?
Right. I know.
Yeah.
That's
what?
And so, and they're all about helping other people and they're such assholes. Like
they really are.
Understand like how that lines up. Like,
and I'm just going to be honest. Like, this might sound blunt. I don't give a shit about you, Sharon. I don't.
No, really.
I don't care if you get COVID. I don't. You're free to sit in your fucking home forever until this thing magically disappears. It's not my job to make sure you don't get sick. I might give you the flu. I might give you pneumonia. I might give you a lot of shit. Okay. But that's just the world. Like, viruses spread and shit. It's not my job. I'm sorry. It is not our responsibility to do anything to make sure that you don't get sick. That's not how freedom works.
It's teaching the kids the wrong message. Like, they're terrifying children all the time. And I'm just like, it's to push their agenda on these kids in this kind of a way, like in their most formative years. It really is abusive.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there was one guy on this from a town called Dighton Rehoboth, and his name is Glenn Jefferson. He was the only guy on the school committee in this board that was he was just going at it with everyone. And Glenn, if you're out there, I love you. And and one of the questions he asks him is, what are we going to, like, what do you plan to do to address kids and parents that don't wear masks? These mandates some of you are voting are not laws, so you can't call the cops. If a kid refuses to wear a mask in your district, will you expel them from your district and then have to pay to provide the child another education? If I remember correctly, when a district expels a student, the district has to pay to educate the child and blah, blah, blah. And so these are the replies. So this comes from a guy named Brendan Walsh. Wait do you see? Here he is. He's like 88. Like, this guy is so freaking old. Like, look at this guy. Why are you? He's on the Salem school committee. Why?
Just quit. What? Just please do us a favor.
What the hell? Why would you ever want to serve on a school committee if you're this old? What do you get out of it? What is wrong with you? Like, retire. Just have a nice life. Like, imagine being this old and wearing shirts. Like, look at this guy. He can't even use a computer. Oh my God, he's so old, and he's a socialist. Like, he's posting about socialism.
They all are.
It's like, dude, you're too old to be a socialist. You're supposed to be like 21 in college. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh my Jesus, you lived through the Cold War. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so this is what he writes about this. He's the worst one. Wait till you see some of the emails this guy sent. So he responds and he goes, no, you just don't let them enter the school. If the parents make threats, call the police. Then he said, it would appear that no admission without masks would be a school department policy. While you can't use the police to enforce policy, you can call the police to remove a person who by school committee policy is an quote unquote intruder. So that's what they're going to consider you now, a tax-paying citizen and a parent. You're now an intruder because you're breathing air. This is what they consider.
Well, and they've mentioned CPS already. Like, a few people on my Facebook feed says, has anyone called them to let them know that she's negligent of her children's safety? And I wonder if they won't go that route eventually.
Well, guess what? Two can play that game. You call CPS right back on them and say he's abusing his child by forcing a mask on them in their home. The kid told me himself. He's like, my dad makes me do it. And then I'll be like, oh, the kid told me that. Have some fun with that. Two can abuse the CPS system. Believe me.
Yeah.
So this is the most alarming email that I read in the entire thread. Wait till you see this from Brendan Walsh, that old dude from Salem. He goes, People who don't agree with the decisions made by their elected representatives in a representative democracy have a lot of, quote, choices that do not threaten the existence of representative democracy itself. Among these choices are litigation, take the district to court and seek injunctions. So that's not feasible because you can't afford high-priced attorneys. That's not a realistic thing. Okay?
No, they're almost out of reach anyways.
Right, exactly. Civil disobedience, stage a sit-in, prepare to be arrested and charged. Oh, so yes, you could just go to jail. Okay, that's an option too. Pull your child out of the public school. A number of things will happen here, all of which you will find quite interesting. And now you and I have a different tact with this. Like I don't run. So like
no, me either.
So you're taking your kid out of public school. It's like I'm not going to do that because I believe that the public schools belong to me. So I'm going to fight because they're still going to take my tax money for the schools. So
and I agree with that. And that's how I felt like, and, like it's your obligation to teach my child. And then I realized but I don't want this other crap shoved down his throat. I don't want him coming home thinking his name isn't Nicholas anymore. It's Nicole. Just because.
I won't allow that. And that's why you got to be vigilant. And that's why I plan to be vigilant throughout my kid's entire academic career. And I'm going to be anytime I see shit like that, I'm going to be the annoying parent sending emails, demanding to know, just being because I was a public school teacher for 11 years.
Right. Okay.
And I know that the last thing teachers want to deal with is angry parents who email all the time. And I am going to be that parent if they push boundaries. Okay. I'll be cool with them if they're cool, with my kids.
This whole thing has drawn some teachers out. They've called me. They reached out on Messenger and asked if they could call.
In a good way or in a bad way?
In a way that they are disagreeing, but they don't know how to. And is there?
Oh, right. Yeah. So, I mean, we had a couple kindergarten teachers speak out at our school committee meeting in opposition to masking. There's a lot of teachers that are against it. It makes their job harder.
But they get lynched, so they don't say anything.
Why? I don't understand that. It's that makes their job much harder. I would be going nuts with that mask on all day if I was a teacher because they still have to wear it. I don't understand why they're doing it to themselves. It's insane.
No.
But it goes on. He goes on to say, so here are your options. Try a charter school. They like to be called public, but when their administrations make decisions, there is no appeal. Your choice, go along or go home. B, private school. Charter schools without the pretense of public control. They will simply tell you that if you disagree, you should choose another school. Or C, where do you hear this? Religion-based schools. In this area, I think you'll find folks who agree with choice rare. Plus, you might get to meet Father Feeler, as in feel you up, Pastor Pedo, or Rabbi Rapier. This guy actually wrote this. He wrote this anti-Semitic fucking Nazi garbage. And I'm going to blow this fucking guy the fuck up, this Nazi fuck. That's what he is. Rabbi Rapier.
I'll put it all over social media up here.
And I'm going to. I'm in the process of writing this blog. You all saw it first. That's what this motherfucker wrote in an email. Rabbi Rapier. This is what they think of people who are religious. Jews, you're a bunch of rapists. That's what you are. You're raping Jews. You stupid Catholics. You're molesting kids. Okay. Shit like that. So I am going to light this motherfucker on fire. They thought I was bad. Now, they thought all these emails were private. They got leaked, motherfucker, and we got them.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. So, yeah, this dumb motherfucker. And he goes, apparently these folks believe that they have the right to tell their child that they can do anything and don't have to do anything. Yes. They don't. They don't have to wear a mask. Yeah. Because you're not in charge of my kid, you fucking old dude. What is wrong with you?
Oh, he just looks creepy.
I know. The whole concept is creepy.
Yeah, the feeling is not good.
Yeah.
The whole concept is creepy. It's bizarre. And oh my God, I got into it with this Karen in Marshall's one time and I left thinking, maybe I'm just an asshole. Maybe I'm just an asshole and I need to look at that. But then I thought, because she went and got the manager because I wouldn't put it on. So I had a fake mask I bought last year from Fake Mask USA and I loved it because I go everywhere. I can breathe. And they said that all the proceeds go to pissing off the liberals and drinking beer. And I'm like, fantastic. Now sign me up. So I bought one for my kid. I bought one for myself. And but I still didn't want to put it on. It's the idea of putting it on. It doesn't sit right with me. So I was in Marshall's, and she's freaking out. This woman, she goes and gets the manager. They're like, you need to put your mask on. I'm like, I'm not going to. I need to buy stuff. I'm not a communist. Like, they're like, you need to or you're going to leave. So I put my fake mask on, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I'm going to buy my stuff, and I'll never be back. Unfortunately, I've been back. But I love Marshall's. But, you know,
I do too.
The thing is, like, it doesn't sit right with me. It's not right. And even, like, I think even detectives and stuff will tell you, like, the one thing you should always trust over any kind of process is your gut, is your intuition. And it doesn't sit right with me. What's going on is so fucked up. Won't do it.
So a couple more emails here. So here's another one from Lisa from Holliston. She's in the Holliston School Committee. There she is. Okay.
There she is.
They all look the same. Why
do they always look the same?
Because this is just, it's just like, I hate that.
There it is.
This is just a sad debate. I feel like if you can draw a direct line from what's happening in Afghanistan right now to the spread of the Delta variant here at home, when did Americans become so selfish? Tens of thousands of, like, first of all, bitch, you're the one being selfish. You're asking kids to cover their faces up so that you can feel safer. Okay. Shut up. Yeah. Tens of thousands of people in Afghanistan are probably going to be murdered because we made a mistake and can't seem to figure out how to correct it or don't have the political will to do so. Well, actually, hun, your president made a mistake. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't make a mistake. Your guy fucked up because he's just like, oh, I guess I'll bring out the army first and then we'll get the civilians out. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah. And then Kamala, quote unquote, was like, you can't pin this shit on me.
I know. She's just like, dude, I ain't going down with this shit. Yeah. And we're going to let kids get sick and be hospitalized and potentially develop long COVID because wearing a mask impinges on this long COVID bullshit is the other thing too. What the fuck are they talking about? Long COVID. Like, this is another made up bullshit that they're just like,
they just make it up as they go. They change the goalposts, they change the rules, and if you don't want to buy into it, it's your problem.
Exactly. Yeah. I think democracy is definitely under threat, but it has little to do with foreign terrorists or any external group. It's American selfishness. It's thoroughly depressing. So she basically right there calls people like you and I terrorists. Like the biggest threat to America isn't Taliban. It's fucking people like you and I who don't want our child to wear masks. Okay.
Well, they just declared us domestic terrorists the other day if we thought there was voter fraud.
I saw that. And if there's
right? Isn't that what happened?
You're like, yeah, that and like COVID hesitancy were the two things that were on the list of whatever.
Oh my God, is that a thing? COVID?
COVID hesitancy.
Country's made of pansy now.
Oh yes, it is. Oh
yes.
Oh my God. So Glenn, the voice of reason from Dighton, chimes in. And he's basically just like, this is the exact mentality that's causing the issues and dividing our country. Some of you insist your view is the correct one. And so he goes on basically with that. And then all of a sudden, Mel Webster, your boy, jumps in and he goes, after he responds to that email, which is reasonable, and is like, hey, can we not be so vicious towards our fellow man? And he says, question, why are certain members of this listserv allowed to continue politically oriented rants? AKA, shut the fuck up, Glenn. Only, people like us are allowed to share our opinions in this group. Glenn, fuck off. Okay.
Yeah.
And so they go, Glenn fires back at him. And then we got Brendan again. Oh, no, we've already read that one. Delete that one. What else we got here?
Yeah, they don't even like each other.
Yeah, well, they don't like Glenn is the only, he's my guy in it. He's the only voice of reason in there. So here's another one. Tracy Novick is like she's from Worcester. She's kind of the straw that stirs the drink, if you will.
Yeah.
And she never comes out as anything too aggressive, but she always puts like ideas in their mind. And she's like, regarding the MIAA, the sports league, they reportedly are declining to provide fall guidance. The MIAA Board of Directors, meeting in person on Wednesday for the first time, declined to provide any additional guidance on schools on the issue of wearing masks at sporting events for the upcoming fall season, instead leaving it up to individual school districts. This obviously could create a patchwork approach across the state, but the MIAA is following off the hands-off approach of the state government. The board's decision is in line with the statement the association issued last Friday, and blah, blah, blah. So basically what she's trying to do here, I know how this cunt works, is she's trying to be like, let's go after the MIAA next, because it's not enough to have kids wear masks in the classroom. We want them wearing them on the soccer fields too, which is just insanity when I see that. Insanity.
I love the photo, or the TikToks of people in masks doing squats. Like, it's cool. I'm just like, what a bunch of dummies.
You should have seen, like, I had to wear the mask at the fucking gym. Oh my God, it's so unhealthy. Horrible. You can't breathe. It's just like, are you kidding me?
No, I know.
Oh,
and these kids are outside. They're outside when they're like, I can't. You know, the funny thing is, Amesbury, they didn't have them in summer school. And then the day after the meeting, someone mentioned it this past year, a week ago. And the day after the meeting they installed a plan for it. And some guy said, I brought my daughter the day after the meeting, and they gave her a mask for the first time all summer.
Exactly. Yeah, we have one in town in the town of Princeton in our district, and there's been hundreds of kids in that building for weeks in the summer program, no masks, and they're just going back into that same building, same amount of kids, masks required. It makes no sense at all, of course. So anyway, my guy Glenn from Dighton shares a link to a Turtleboy blog in there, and it gets people really upset. By the way, had you ever heard of Turtleboy prior to me contacting you tonight?
Actually, you were brought up last week. Emily Apt. I don't know if you know.
Oh, her. I know Emily.
Yeah, so we're friends. She's in the Triton district, which is right next to me.
Yes,
so,
it is. Yes, it is.
And she mentioned it because we're kind of forming, like they said in the office, an alliance. But we've formed some friends out here all fighting for the same stuff. And she had mentioned you a couple times. Like, he's a good guy to get in contact with if you have information or.
Yeah, we had a lot of followers up there in the Georgetown area, the Middleton area, stuff like that.
No, I never heard of it till now, and then you reached out and I'm like, oh, I got it. So I watched some videos and I'm like, oh, I like it.
Yeah.
He's
now you know.
Conservative. He talks like an asshole. I love it. Like, that's my thing.
Excellent. The Glenn posts a link to the Turtleboy blog in there, and Charles Miles from South Hadley, the guy I wrote about, goes, interestingly, this is the same trash blog that posted photos of my children without consent, prompting threats of rape, among other things, and death threats to me because I voted for a mask mandate in our town. Not a fan of this rag as a news source. This is not a decent blog. Because he goes, this is a decent blog.
Oh, yeah.
And this makes him so. This is Shannon Malloy. She is from she's from Harvard, the Bromfield School. It's in Central Mass. She says, media bias fact check, whatever that is, rates this source questionable. Oh, okay. This woman is named Kathleen Lenahan. She is on the Lexington School Committee. Again,
here we are.
Another old fogey, another boomer here. And she says, I can think of many words to describe that blog, and decent is not one of them. And you go to her page, and it's just nonstop complaining. Why aren't we 90% vaccinated in Lexington?
Oh my God, they whine so much. It's like, shut up.
Yeah,
you get so tired of it.
Only 65% of 7th graders are fully vaccinated. That's concerning. And this is what they're getting at, folks. They're not happy that just adults are vaccinated. They want your kids to also be vaccinated.
So here's something, Amesbury Elementary last year, I went to meet the principal because I wanted to talk to her about some of this stuff before Nicholas went to school this year, because I homeschooled him last year. I'm not doing this Zoom for kindergarten. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. So I said, I know this sounds a little crazy, but like, he's not going to like come home with a Band-Aid by accident next year, right? Like being 6 years old. Like, I don't have to worry about you accidentally vaccinating him, right? Like, and she's like, no, that would never happen. We have to have your consent, but we are discussing on the school boards, on that level, vaccinating younger by the fall. And that was back in like June.
Right. I mean, that's what this is all about.
It's
this mask
shit. Yeah.
If the carrot is get vaccinated and then you don't have to wear a mask, that's clearly the plan. This whole thing is just
They're not even sneaky.
They're using the mask as punishment to get vaccinated. Like if you now you have incentive to go get the vax, because the light at the end of the tunnel is you could will allow you to take your mask off. Again, they'll raise the bar. It'll be 95%, or they'll just come up with another variant and say, well, we got to put masks back on, new variant, and the vaccine doesn't protect you. We got to get your boosters. There'll be some bullshit.
The generation that hides under a rock. I'm like, who's going to fight in World War III? Like, this is such a
nobody. This empire is about to fall. Like we've never, I swear to God, this whole thing was just a test by the Red Chinese to see, like, well, let's just cook up a freaking virus and then shut down our primary competitors and see what they do and see if they self-destruct.
Well, you know that Fauci and Obama were working on this decades ago over here, right? And then they got shut down by the Geneva Convention and they opened it up in China. So they've been working on this for years. Gain of function research. That's what Fauci's been funding that for years. That fucking asshole. Anyway. But anyways,
so she goes, this is another thing she wrote on her page. I'm having a very hard time being patient or charitable towards anyone who isn't getting their children vaccinated because they think their kid isn't likely to become seriously ill. So she's having a hard time being like a decent human being towards other parents who are choosing not to get their children vaccinated to prevent that will, for a disease that doesn't kill kids. So that's like, what? Maybe they're having a more enjoyable pandemic than I am. Yes, we are, because we're just living our lives. That's very true. But it isn't over for any of us until it's over for all of us. Nah, bitch, it's over when we say it's over, okay? Yeah. I also can't believe they're willing to roll the dice on their kid not being one of the unlucky ones. That's like saying you're not willing to, like, I can't believe they're letting their kids get in a car. What if they're one of the unlucky ones that dies in a car accident? It's like, yeah, I'm taking that chance. I'm sorry. I have that right as a parent. At the school committee meeting on Tuesday, we will be talking about requiring the vaccine for participation in sports and extracurricular activities. This is the next step. I told you this. This is what they're doing. They're being like, well, okay, we're not mandating vaccines to go to school. Just if you want to play football, or just if you want to be in the National Honor Society, or something like. There's
a college in Illinois that fines you like $2,000 and something if you don't get it, and then doesn't let you have internet usage.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you can not get it.
So they're taking incentives away. Yep.
Yeah.
You cannot get it. Just live in your house and never come out.
Yeah, these people are absolutely insane. Here's another one she wrote. She compares us to Hawaii, that Hawaii, I guess, has all student athletes and coaches that they must be fully vaccinated to participate in sport. And she's like, why can't we do that here? So that is what they are going to be pushing. This other guy from Woburn, here he is right here.
Yep, not a
his name's Andrew Lipsett. He says about my blog, he says, the use of a term like decent in reference to that site linked to here is pretty remarkable. I have seen people be harassed, subject to threatening phone calls and drive-bys of their drive-bys. What the I swear to God, they just make this shit up after being targeted on this decent blog. This is all they do. They're like, person A criticizes person B, and then person B says that person C showed up at their house and tried to kill them because of the words person A said. Therefore, person A should be silenced. That is all they want to do. And of course, they never have evidence that any of this should happen because they're shameless liars. All of them. That's all they want to do is silence.
No, and his mustache is super distracting.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. I mean, this guy would probably be happier if he just got if he went to go see Dr. What's his name and got the surgery.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, that is a shiner right there. Look at that thing. I can see my reflection from here. Poor guy. And then Glenn says, regardless of whether or not you feel the blog is trash, I'm calling attention that the MTA does not speak for all teachers. Again, this guy is the only voice for reason in there. And then so Glenn goes on to ask, what about religious beliefs? Because this is going to be the next big thing. Because now you can get out of certain vaccines if you have a religious exemption. Right. And these people, you saw douchebag from Salem's thoughts on religion. Right. He doesn't like it very much. He doesn't think much of religious people. Okay. Right. And so one woman, Shannon Scully, she is from Andover. There she is. Oh God, that's one of the worst towns as far as douchebag. I've written about Andover so many times. Since you brought it up, The Pope is encouraging COVID vaccines, so Catholic exemption seems dubious. She goes, I took a quick look for you, and it doesn't seem Fox News or Turtleboy reported on the Pope's statements. You're goddamn right, because the Pope is a communist, and I don't
say he pushes everything the church doesn't push.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the Pope, and I don't take my directions from Rome either. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he celebrated Pride Month, didn't he?
Yeah, like this. I'm the woke Pope. I'm not listening to woke Pope. Stop it.
Yeah, no, stop. Yeah. You're about to die anyways. So
exactly. And so yeah, and then Sharon's back. So Sharon says she's the old woman from the Cape. She says,
"Oh yeah."
We had every single child and adult in the school buildings wearing masks all day since COVID, except brief breaks and lunch. A few students who were severely disabled had occasional longer break for feeding, feeding. Asthmatic, those with emotional issues, etc., all adjusted fine. Others wearing masks along with their own kept every student and teacher safe with no spread from school since COVID. This is a serious health issue. Let's not get, so she's like, exemptions. There will be no exemptions.
Yeah, no.
Stop that. We let you people eat food. What more do you want? Like,
I know, and like they're the final deciders at the end of the day anyways. Like honestly, like we are with our children, and like if we like it's power in numbers. And yes. I think that's the whole point of building up the community. Like we're doing a rally Friday, not because we're going to change anything. I know good and well we're not changing anything in the town, but we'll build confidence, we'll build on numbers, and we'll grow the community. And only once we have numbers to not comply, then can we fight against a mandatory vaccine, because they'll mandate it, but we have to not get it. And people have to be confident in that, you know?
Yeah. Well,
it's scary.
But what are you going to do when the first time they're like, you can't go in this grocery store without the vaccine? What are you going to do?
I know. So my husband and I have been talking about that lately, because I'm like, my concern is it's even going to go to healthcare. Like, how do you go to a hospital and have anything done? Or if your insurance says you got to have it, like, what do you do? But like, do you like what, like some guy said on Mass Against Masks mandates, he said, like, what is your red line?
Call up Turtleboy.
Right.
I got the card. Trust me, I got the PDF.
That's true.
Email me. Trust me. That's like just I got the card. Trust me. Problem solved. I got you.
Awesome.
Well, eventually they're gonna figure that out though, and they're gonna go, you need your iPhone, you need your freaking, your barcode, and that's
your microchip.
But that's gonna be an issue with poor people, because these these are Democrats. They're like, poor people can't afford IDs, but you all have iPhones, right? So it's like, well, what if I can't afford an iPhone and to get my, whatever? It's like, so we'll see what happens when we get there with that, but we'll figure out a resistance to that when time comes. This is a woman who's also from, look at all those freckles, Jesus. She's also from Salem.
Yeah.
And she says, Salem voted, she's on the school committee there, to require all students participating in high respiration activities to be tested once a week. Additionally, they need to be vaccinated or masked while participating and get an additional test each week and consult with a healthcare provider about the vaccine. So kids who are vaccinated in Salem on the soccer team do not need to wear masks.
Right.
Kids who are not vaccinated have to wear masks, which will take away their ability to breathe and cause them to get you're much more likely to have bad things happen to you if you can't fucking breathe than you are breathing fresh air. But
and the amount of carbon dioxide you breathe in, like while you have the mask on all day, is like really unhealthy.
Oh, totally. And here she is, going to the BLM protests and all that shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. They're all hypocrites.
That stuff drives me nuts.
She also, these people brag about how she's like, I didn't get together with my family on Thanksgiving. Look how good I am. I'm such a good person. Yeah, fuck you. Your family hates you. That's why they didn't come over for the holidays. And I don't blame them. And so Tracy Novick says, I've been asked to pass along from the Somerville School Committee that their committee has voted for universal masking, approved a MOU that includes a staff vaccine mandate, and we'll be voting on a vaccine mandate for 12-year-old plus students to participate in non-academic curricula. So Somerville's doing that as well. Here's another woman from Arlington. There she is, another old woman named 𝗚𝗏. Okay. And 𝗚𝗏 says, in Arlington, thank you very much for sharing this, Tracy. It gave me the impetus to ask why we are currently not planning to do the same regarding vaccine mandates for 12 plus to participate in athletics. Regarding why we would choose that subset, vaccine availability is only for 12 plus. Athletics are not something we are required to provide. So we can set parameters. So, and this is what they're going to do. Be like, well, you know, being on the soccer team is, you have a right to an education, but you don't have a right to be on the soccer team. Well, fuck you, cunt. How about we define what rights are, and we have a right to both. So we're going to do both. So fuck off.
Well, it's because she never got picked for the soccer team, so she's resentful.
That's true too. This is 𝗫𝗄𝗃, the executive director of the whole organization from Cambridge. And he writes, when somebody asks about what to do, he goes, we are working on that question now about what if kids don't comply, what to do with people who refuse to comply. So they're thinking about this. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to punish kids with? Because they can't suspend you.
That's what I wonder, because I've said to we've talked about on a MASC for against mandates too, like last week, like what is the ultimate thing they can do? Like if you go in and say, we're not putting a mask on my child and you may not put one on him, and they say, well, you have to, and you say, I'm not going to, that what is the course of action? And no one gives the same answer, because I think they really still don't know.
We need mass resistance from kids. The kids have to be the leaders. That's it. Like I can't make my kid resist, like,
right. And
she's not old enough to do it on her own. So like we need older kids, and I've already put the bounty out. I said, first kid who gets suspended for not wearing a mask, $50. I've had 3 other people pitch in $50, so we are up to 4. The first 4 kids in Massachusetts to get suspended for not wearing masks, you get $50. I can incentivize shit too. Okay. And you need to get your friends to do it, because the last thing schools want is like massive amounts of suspensions. If 100 kids in the school get together and like, today's a no mask day, and you go in, dare them to suspend you all. What the fuck are they going to do? Nothing. Because you control the power, kids.
Gladly do it for $50.
Oh, I will cheer them on. I will have a crowd waiting at the school outside to clap you kids on and yell and boo your teachers. I will do that. I shit you not. Okay, because I'm ready for. I mean, that's why I felt from your speech when I watched it. I'm like, I liked your energy. I liked your we're gonna be there. Like we're not stopping. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
No way.
You know. So do I have any other good emails here? Oh, here's another one from this woman is in. Yeah, this is Laura Often from Grafton. There she is. I mean, if you're outside going Christmas tree shopping, making your kids wear masks, and you're like, look at us with your pink pussy hat. It's like, I know everything I need to know about you. And she's like,
patterns.
Has anyone come up with the response for religious exemptions for mask wearing? Like, what are we going to do about this religious problem? Oh, no. Okay, so that's basically it. But the most alarming one was that one about Rabbi Rapier. I can't wait to blow up that guy's spot. But all right, well,
yeah,
I think.
No, for sure. That's
what was that?
I don't know. That's fantastic. Like to get back to these people is like you got to expose them.
Mm-hmm. Well. Thank you for coming on the program.
Oh, thanks.
And so Friday, good luck with your protest, and I'll be watching and keep up the good fight.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So guys, if anybody has any questions or anything, that's the summation of the emails. Those are juicy emails, some of those, but that is what they are plotting right now. Like they did not intend for those to get seen. Okay. They did not intend for those to get seen. We got them. We're going to blow up their spot. That is what they're doing behind your back. And it's all because that woman's speech in Amesbury a week ago started this whole ball rolling. So it's a fantastic story. And I loved getting a hold of those. But yeah, it was a good interview. She was really good. That was a really good, good episode. Good show. And we had way over 300 tonight too, the whole time. So that's good too. Oh, we moved that a little bit. Hold on. Oh, okay. There we go. We don't want Pride Rock getting thrown out. All right. Anyone have any questions? See, I don't know if they pick up the sound of that bong. I think it's if you put it in the title. So we made sure not to put it in the title this time. Anyone have any questions? When do you think this ends? It ends when we decide it ends, which right now is never. I mean, as bad as we have it here, have you guys seen Australia? Have you seen New Zealand, what they're doing there? Literally martial law. I mean, have we seen this video, by the way, from Australia? If you haven't seen this video, happening? Did this just freeze? Am I frozen right now? Wait. %. That's not good. I'm down to 4%. Hold on. Uh-oh. Is my audio choppy? Can you guys hear me? All right. Hopefully this is better now. Hopefully. Okay. Let me show you guys this one video from Australia because it gets worse than here, believe it or not. Let me find it. Give me one moment. Check this out. 1%. Okay, this stream might end because I just went from like 100% to 1%. I don't understand what's happening right now. It's charging. So if I get cut off, the show's over because my computer died. But it's literally charging right now, so I don't understand how that's possible, but okay. We'll see. Whatever happens, happens. Let me show you. Check this out.
For his arrest.
This 27.
Listen to what this cunt says, by the way. His arrest. I thought Australia was cool. I thought those people were cool too. That they were wrestling crocodiles and being free and shit. But it turns out they're just a bunch of pussies. No, actually, I gotta change my cam. Audio. Okay, yeah, we got the audio.
It's those doing the wrong thing driving our record case numbers. Among the most concerning cases, a COVID patient who's tonight on the run from a hotspot. Police and health authorities have issued an urgent appeal. Anthony Karam knows he's COVID positive when he steps into this public lift. Already breaking so many rules, he doesn't bother to cover his mouth as he sneezes and splutters.
Oh my God, guys. He's sick and he's breaking so many rules by being sick and not sitting in his apartment all day. And he's breaking rules. He's a 27-year-old guy. Okay.
The 27-year-old is still infectious, but has gone missing from his Wentworth Point apartment.
Oh my God, guys. He left his apartment. It's supposed to be a jail. Is it sputtering? Okay. Hopefully not much more.
A warrant now issued for his arrest.
And they put out a warrant.
This 27-year-old chap who apparently has expressed the view that he doesn't care less whether he spreads the virus.
Yeah.
Is one example of the worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst. The worst. Like you're literally like a murderer or something. Like what? Okay. The worst of the worst.
There's little sympathy for anyone ignoring the health orders.
Oh, here's some
kids. This group of teenagers caught partying after dark at the bottom of the North Bondi Cliffs.
They were caught
to higher ground by Polaire's spotlight and speaker. The 8 boys were placed in handcuffs and left to explain a $1,000 fine.
They're down. They're kids hanging out, and a fucking helicopter spotted them. Like the army is out there being like, are you out? This is insane. This isn't North Korea. This is fucking Australia, dude. This is insane. And people are going along with this shit. Like the majority of people are like, these kids are bad. Like, and like, I don't get this. Like I understood, I didn't really understand, but like back in March of 2020, before we knew anything about this, like whatever, we thought like this was like Walking Dead shit. Like, I guess I could understand the hysteria back then, but now 18 months later, you're still like pretending this is a problem. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know?
681 penalty infringement notices issued in the last 24 hours. More than 400 of those notices were again for people being outside of their home without a reasonable excuse.
Outside of their home without an excuse. Okay. Now look at this guy. This guy is as healthy as you get. He's a goddamn rugby player. Listen to his crime.
Sharks player Josh Dugan denies lying to police when he was found a long way from Sydney. The 31-year-old stopped at 11:30 last night in Lithgow, where he allegedly told officers he was moving to the area and feeding animals before admitting to visiting a friend.
Like, this is insane. You have to, like, he's like, wait a minute, you don't live in Lithgow. You live in Sydney. Why are you driving right now? He's like, oh, I was moving. No, I was meeting a friend. I'm so guilty, guys. I was going to be social. Like, here he is, this guy who was jacked, like 2% body fat, no chance whatsoever of ever dying from COVID. None. In a fucking car. And it's just like, nope, you are a criminal.
He and a passenger turned back to Sydney, only to be pulled over a second time, travelling in the wrong direction.
Oh, no.
The NRL is investigating and criminal charges could be laid.
Criminal
It's getting
charges.
harder and harder to hide if you're doing the wrong thing,
the wrong
in
thing.
the construction
What's this?
industry. A crackdown following on from the recent shutdown. Workers sent home if their paperwork isn't in check.
It is a struggle, but it's it's just what has to be done.
What has to be done.
Nobody likes telling people to go home. They've all got families to feed.
Our cameras rolling on another random blitz in Marsden.
Look at this poor guy.
Authorising me under the Public Health Act.
Inspectors have asked these tradesmen to show proof of their QR check-in as well as identification and vaccination records.
Proof of their QR check-in. They're wearing a mask. They're outside. And they're trying to build shit. And you have to show us your paper. Show us your QR code. You don't think it can come here? You don't think this is, you don't think after reading all those emails from those cunts in Lexington and Harwich that they don't want this to come here? Of course they do. This is the model. This is what they're like, wait, Australia's doing it. Why can't we do that too? Why can't we do that?
One of the men here is from 𝗵𝗵𝗃, and he doesn't have his documentation, so he's being sent home.
He's going to lose a day's work.
He may lose a chunk of his pay too.
Oh, yeah.
If officers follow through with a fine.
Oh, with a fine too.
Genders 9 News.
Like, what a stupid, fake, bullshit ass kangaroo infested country that is. Fuck Australia. Fuck them. What is, like, there's like three, like, what is the greatest country in the world right now? Can you guys tell me? As bad, I mean, we're one of the freer ones. That's the crazy part about this. We're one of the freer ones. In France, they're like every time I see on the news, people are fucking, and in Germany, they're like rebelling against this in the streets. People have had enough of this bullshit. You're right. You know what? China, and thank you. She's, if you guys didn't see that, Catherine's having a protest tomorrow. Check out, rewind it, and go read that. Not tomorrow, on Friday, Massachusetts. Protest against mask mandates. There you go. But, yeah, you know what? China has been free for a while because they're the only ones that know this is all bullshit. We made this shit in a lab, dude. We made this shit up. And just to fuck with our capitalist enemies. Yeah, we're doing that. Now, Japan has not been free at all either, and nobody's dying in Japan. They're like, oh, it works. It's like, no. Japan's not dying because no one's fat in Japan, except for the sumos. That's it. That's it. I mean, I heard that, like, Poland's a great country. Poland, I mean, I thought Poland was a joke for a while. Poland's a great country. Like, they are one of the most, and Hungary is a great country. All those Eastern European countries are cool. Sweden has been like, fuck COVID. I didn't think I could count on Sweden. I guess I can. And I'm wondering, like, what's happening in Africa? Are they like, they never talk about it. Like, are people dying of COVID in like Somalia, or is like starvation still the big thing there? I don't know. You never hear about COVID in Africa, but it's a whole continent of people. Not just lions and shit. Like, not just this. Like, there's people, not just Simba. There's actual human beings in Africa, millions of them. And like, what's happening in Nigeria? I mean, it's like an extremely densely populated country. Like, what's going on there? I don't know. I feel like they have bigger problems there, you know? But anyway, anyone else have any more questions for me before we call it a night? Thanks for all the donuts, by the way. Really appreciate that, folks. Really helping us out there. I love what we've become here at Turtleboy. I love it. I'm definitely going to be looking for more new bloggers in the future, for sure. Expanding more. A year from now, it's just hard to find. I'm also looking for like an intern, like college kids, just to do like simple shit, maybe start another Instagram account, like little shit helping me organize behind the scenes shit. Like the Turtleboy quotes guy, he's a young guy. He's been great. It's just a little side. It's just a nice thing he adds to the Turtleboy repertoire. Is like the Turtleboy quotes Twitter account. You should follow that. He watches the shows and he just does the highlights of it. It's great. So if you know, send me an email, turtleboysports@gmail.com. Yeah, if you live in Midford, vote for my guy Bill, too. There you go. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. I appreciate that. Anything else, guys? Any of the questions? Are people that had COVID getting COVID? It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, Cam Newton. And by the way, email turtleboysports@gmail.com. That should answer your question with that one. Cam Newton, you know, they're going after him. Cam Newton's obviously not vaccinated. He's also black. And they're literally segregating against him. I told you this was going to happen. Because it's the biggest group of people who are not vaccinated are not, you know, white Trump people from West Virginia. It's black people. They're by and large the largest group of people who are not getting vaccinated. So the segregation has begun. Cam Newton has no reason to get vaccinated. He's in amazing shape. I mean, Cam Newton is just a model of fitness. He's young, like he's 32, I think, and he has had COVID. So he's got the antibodies. Like there's no reason Cam Newton should get vaccinated. I hope. I was not a Cam Newton guy before. I kind of am now. I'm Team Cam Newton now. Busta Rhymes came out today, the other day, just shit on COVID. All these assholes. Andrew Bogut, an Australian guy, basketball player, former NBA guy, #1 overall pick. He put out a great video about how the Australian government asked him to do promo about like get vaccinated. He's like, fuck that. I told him, fuck no, I'm not doing that. I don't know how Jimmy Hayes died. I don't know. I can't speculate on that. Somebody said how do you join the Turtle Club? So if you guys want to join Turtle Club, what you can do, I'll show you right now, is you can just go on either website, Turtleboy Sports or TV Daily News, but I recommend TV Daily News. Let's try to get in the habit of that. And you can go to, on the top here, Turtle Club. See this? Boom. You go there. And you can purchase. So this at the $10 a month just gets you ad free. $15 a month you get ad free and access to like tomorrow night's show. And so that's how that works. And shows like it. Okay. So that's what you do. Just go there and you buy it and you're in. You'll get like a login and you just sign up that way. Yeah. You have to actually email me, turtleboysports@gmail.com. I can just email you the PDF. It's a lot easier. Mac does look good. But I feel like the existence of Mac is bringing Cam looked good last game too. And Mac's presence is making Cam better and vice versa. It's been great. I mean, Cam sucked last year because obviously he's not very good. But on top of that, like he had no competition with Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham sucks too. Yeah, you email. You don't message a page. You email me, turtleboysports@gmail.com. So you can put whatever the fuck you want on it. It's your thing. I'll show you. I mean, it's so simple, guys. Check this out. Do whatever. It's your Vax card. Write whatever the hell you want. Watch this. Let me share this one. Stop screen. Share screen. Here it is. You just go, you write whatever the hell you want on it. It's like, okay, so here it is. Last name, first name, middle initial, date of birth, medical record, or you can find that out on your own. It's your whatever. Okay. And then you write first dose. So, I mean, just ask somebody who's got it. Like, can I see your card? Just copy them. First dose, whatever. I mean, you pick a company. So you can either go with the Pfizer or the Moderna there. And then you do the date. And then the health, there's no signature. It gets amazing. Healthcare professional or clinics that you just make Walgreens, CVS, the bus stop. People got the bar, whatever. You just write whatever. They don't know. You think they're like, wait a minute. You didn't go to Walgreens. We double checked. You think the bouncer at the door who has to like decide if you can get in the restaurant is going to know? Fuck no. And you do the same with the second one. That's it. It's literally, you don't even have to do this. I mean, the back of the card has a back to this. So you have to print it out double-sided like this. I mean, most printers have that function, the double-sided function. It's not that hard. Bring it to freaking Kinko's. They'll do it. They don't ask questions. And like, how do you like this? When I saw this, I'm like, this is it. That's it. That's all you need. Wow. Wow. So that's literally all you need. So they're going to tell people jail. They're going to put people in jail. I mean, whatever. Prove it. Oh, no. I was just kidding, guys. I don't really want. I was just kidding. You guys don't know satire? Oh, yeah. It's a big joke. Big joke. Just kidding. Oh, I would never do that. No, you should get your shots, guys. Go get your shots. Definitely. Don't. Oh, no. I would never recommend you do that. That's naughty. It's against the rules. I love the rules. Yeah. Yeah. Keep here. The last thing she needs is COVID would be the least of her problems. I do not support fake facts. See, okay, Pat. So that's where you and I differ, and that's okay. Showing one is a sign of submission. So that's you. Your policy, and not hating it on for it, is I'm not going to submit to the state, and I get that. I do. But then you don't get to go in the grocery store, and I do. And I didn't get vaccinated. And I got away with something. I'll tell you one thing. The thrill and the exhilaration you get from getting away with something, right? From from getting around the government, right? It's like, you ever use a fake ID when you're a kid? You're like, I mean, what are you going to go in a liquor store and be like, you need booze. You're 19 years old. And you're like, okay, I'd like a 12-pack of beer. And they're like, no, you can't have it. And you're like, I will not submit. I will not buy alcohol. Well, then your ass is going to be sober, and then you're not going to get a hand job. I am. Because I'm going to use my fake ID. I'm going to go in there. I am going to submit by using my fake ID. I'm going to get really drunk, and then we're going to have some fun and see where this goes, okay? So I feel like I'm winning when I do that. So you stick to your principles. I'm going to do my principle thing over here and just lie and cheat, and I'm going to get everything I want. And it's the sense of satisfaction that you get from doing something like that, like with voter fraud. First time I ever went to vote, right? Not first time, but one time I went to vote, and somebody had already voted in my name. I've told the story a bunch of times. And I'm like, the name was just crossed off. I'm like, what do you mean? Somebody voted in my name. What? And they're like, you already voted. And I'm like, it's 7:45. Polls are closing in 10 minutes. If I make a big thing here, I'm not going to get to vote. Or There's a whole list in front of me. I just pick a name. So my brother, who didn't live in Massachusetts at the time, he's on the list. So I'm like, yeah, I picked his name. I just voted under his name. And that's when I realized voting in this country isn't real. It's all a joke because there's no voter ID. So I started voting multiple times in elections. And I did this a couple times. Now, I'm not going to vote 10 times because then they'll catch on. But if you show up, early in the morning, maybe show up later on, you can vote multiple times in elections. I've done it before. So that's like my solution to voter fraud isn't to cry about voter fraud or, I'm going to take a stand. I'm principled. I'm going to complain about this and nothing's going to change. Well, you do that. You do that. I'm going to vote 3 times. That's what I'm going to do. That's my solution to voter fraud is more voter fraud, period. So that's what I do. I'm sneaky. I am, I win. I have to win all the time. That's my problem is, I always have to feel like I have to beat them at their own game. I have to outwit them. So you do your principle thing and I'll do my, cheating thing and we'll see who's more satisfied. I'm going to go to the grocery store and you're not. So anyway, any other questions? No, not really, because there's no such thing as a fake mask. So that's a bad analogy. If I could put on a fake mask, I would. But you can't. You can do the fake vax card. I'm like, whatever. Fucking fake vax card. No problem. And I love you, Catherine. But, I mean, let's be honest here. Are you noticing a trend here? You're never winning. You're never getting your way. Right? You're always getting fucked somehow. I agree with you with everything you're doing, but you're always getting fucked. I don't like getting fucked. I like winning. I like winning. And by any means necessary, any means, period. And if that requires fake vaccination cards, then that's the game. Game on, motherfucker. Let's play. All right. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? You have the barcode on your card? What? That's not good. Oh, there's Glenn. Glenn's here. Excellent. We were talking about you. Glenn was the only voice of reason in that entire thread. He's on the Dighton-Rehoboth School Committee. Dighton-Rehoboth are both Trump towns. So they are sensible down there. And they did not like that. That did not go over well because many of them have been featured, including Tracy Novick, who's been featured like top 10 of all time on Turtleboy. Okay. Your what is in the inbox? Your fake ID? Let me see. Did she do a fake one? Let me see what Blarney's got here. Oh, here you go. Can I show this one? So again, this is just how simple it is. Oh man, this is easy. Holy shit. Good Lord, this is easy. Check this out, people. I mean, seriously, that's it? You just write Moderna? Okay, yeah, again, just get it from someone else. Write a bunch of shit like that. You think the doorman at Market Basket's going to be like, when they eventually have a vaccine mandate, it's going to be like, oh, this doesn't add up. That's the wrong digit. You don't fuck. You weren't at Gillette Stadium on March 6th. I was there that day. I did not see you, sir. You imposter. This is a fake vaccination card. Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? I think that's about it. It's been a long show. Again, I feel like I'm going to send out a lot of emails tomorrow, but turtleboysports@gmail.com if you want to reach me that way. And I guess we will call it a night, guys. And I will see you guys all on, I'll see some of you tomorrow night for Turtle Club. Sign up for that if you haven't already. We will see you then tomorrow night. Peace, Turtle Riders.